found this video, you must be a fan of Tubi. Great news, we can start off with something in common. After spending any amount of time on Tubi, you will quickly realize that to find the treasure, you'll have to navigate the trash. So in today's video, let's sidestep all the garbage and discover hidden gems, which I like to refer to as Tubi treasure. Here alone. Lucy Walters is outstanding in this 2017 offering. Here Alone is a post-apocalyptic film. Sometime after a zombie-like infection decimates the world's population, Anne, played by Lucy Walters, struggles to survive in the woods. There are few resources and she is forced to live off the land, as abandoned houses attract dangerous, infected corpses. Throughout, Anne clings to the hope of civilization, listening to a crank radio that broadcasts an emergency message in French, a language she does not understand. Anne is alone. As the viewer, we gain insight on her past and what happened to her husband and daughter by means of flashbacks. On her way back from getting food from a nearby home, Anne comes across an injured man, Chris, played by Adam David Thompson, and his teenage stepdaughter Olivia, played by Gina Persante. She helps him, nursing Chris back to health, but finds it difficult to trust him or Olivia. Soon, Anne and Chris find themselves falling for each other and start a romantic relationship, much to the chagrin of Olivia. As the movie progresses, we learn more about Anne's backstory. This film turns gut-wrenching. Prepare yourself for an epic ending that will replay over and over in your mind. Jerusalem is a 2016 Israeli supernatural horror film. This is a highly underrated horror flick from the 2010's. In 1972, two priests are called to record an event at Jerusalem. It is revealed that Jewish, Muslim, and Christian priests were all called to perform an exorcism on a woman who died 3 days before. Her son claims she was calm at first when she returned from the grave to his home, but became violent later, injuring her husband. After failed attempts to cure her, the priests decide they have no choice but to kill the woman. In a final attempt, the woman screams while sprouting leather wings just before a priest kills her with a derringer. The narrator states that the strange events of 1972 were the first proof of a gateway to hell in Jerusalem. Jump to the present, and two Jewish American students, Rachel and Sarah, plan a trip to Tel Aviv. Sarah is gifted a pair of smart glasses. These are used for part of the storytelling during the rest of this film, which adds a nice POV style to this movie. The girls meet fellow American student Kevin, who is fascinated with religious mythology. They all head to a hostel. At the hostel, they meet Israeli Arab Omar and his father Fauzi, who run the hostel. The local news channel reports of a murder that has taken place in the old city, with a massive amount of blood found on the street, but no body. While Rachel starts an affair with Omar, Kevin and Sarah begin an intimate relationship. The four friends enjoy their time in Jerusalem, party, and tour around the city. When Sarah gets lost in the old city at night, she is frightened of an unearthly growling and scream she hears. Kevin shows Sarah the documentary from the beginning of the movie that he found on the internet with film footage of the 1972 exorcism. After this point, all hell breaks loose, quite literally. Between the horror and suspense, the creatures and themes of religious mythology, this film stands tall as a 2010's horror gem. Ma, an awesome modern take on the horror genre, feeling fresh and delivering a strong performance. This movie barely squeezes in, being released in 2019. Ma is an American psychological horror film directed by Tate Taylor and written by Scotty Lands. It stars Octavia Spencer, Juliette Lewis, and Luke Evans. Ma follows a group of teenagers who befriend a lonely, middle-aged woman. She lets them party in her basement, and they end up being terrorized by her. The film was produced by Jason Blum through his Blumhouse Productions company. teenager Maggie Thompson moves with her mother Erica to her mother's Ohio hometown after Erica's husband leaves her. At her new high school, Maggie befriends Haley, Daryl, Chaz, and Andy, who immediately develop a crush on her. They convince Sue Ann Ma Ellington, a veterinary technician, to help them buy alcohol because they are not legally old enough to purchase it themselves. Sue Ann anonymously reports their activities, but they are released because of the officer's history with Andy's father, Ben. The next day, Sue Ann invites the teenagers to drink in her basement. Over time, many other teenagers arrive at her house to party, making her popular among the students. I guess that's a surefire way to make up with the teenagers, but you'd think they might be a little wary seeing as though Ma just ratted them out the day before. Soon the group grows annoyed as Sue Ann continuously harasses them to spend time with her. One night, she drugs Maggie and takes her earrings. The next morning, Maggie finds cuts and bruises on her body and her earrings missing. A scared Maggie tells Andy she no longer wants to go to Sue Ann's house and that she does not want him to go either. To earn the group's trust back, Sue Ann lies that she has pancreatic cancer. Haley notices Sue Ann wearing a bracelet belonging to a friend. The girls suspect that Sue Ann has been stealing their jewelry and break into her house to investigate. They are surprised by Jeannie, Sue Ann's daughter from a failed marriage. Maggie is surprised to see her walking as she uses a wheelchair at school. Maggie and Haley escape as Sue Ann comes home. As the story unfolds, we learn that Ma had a troubled past with some of the teens' parents and she might be planning her vengeance. What happens next leads to a gory ending sure to satisfy any horror fan. You're next. This 2013 film is suspenseful and horrifying at the same time, perfect for any horror fan, especially ones looking for solid horror movies that came out during the 2010s decade. Erin accompanies her boyfriend Crispian Davison to his family reunion at their vacation home in rural Missouri. Present are Crispian's parents Aubrey and Paul, Crispian's older brother Drake and his wife Kelly, Crispian's younger siblings Felix and Amy, and their partners Z and Tariq, respectively. This movie starts with a bang and doesn't let up. Masked intruders soon wreak havoc on the whole family. The family members must fight for their survival. But why are these strangers attacking this family? What motives lie behind their actions? All these answers are revealed as this movie makes its way to a bloody conclusion. Jugface. This entry is a little quirky and deals with some taboo subjects. I never hear too much chatter about this film, but it has solid acting and a twisted plot. Jugface is a 2013 American horror film. The story follows a teen named Ada who is pregnant with her brother's child and tries to escape from a backwoods community, only to discover that she must sacrifice herself to a creature in a pit. This backwoods community worships a pit with healing powers. Dewey creates jugs of faces from clay, and when a jug portrays the face of a member of the community, that person must be sacrificed to the creature that lives in the pit. Ada, who has been having sex with her brother Jesseby, finds her own face on Dewey's latest jug. Scared, she hides the jug and keeps it a secret. Ada is arranged to be joined to a boy from another family, Bodhi. Later, Ada discovers she is pregnant. While she is with Bodhi's sister Eileen, Ada had a vision of Eileen's death, and the creature later kills Eileen. Worried that they have angered the creature, the community questions Dewey, who claims to be ignorant of whether there is a missing jug, as he creates them while under a trance. The townspeople become frustrated with Dewey and demand that he search for any potentially missing jugs. Ada meets with Dewey and she suggests that he create a new one from memory. Everything about this community revolves around the jugs and the corresponding sacrifice to the pit creature that must take place. What happens when someone wants to change their fate? What if they don't want to be a willing sacrifice? Check out Jugface today for these answers and to watch something that's a little bit different to the other horror movies we enjoy so much. This movie really is a hidden gem, and I recommend checking this title out. This is Planet Phobia, and that was Tubi Treasure 2010's Horror Edition. If you liked this video, please check out my other content and think about subscribing.